And let me see if I can share my screen.
It's recording.
Excellent. All right. Can you see a screen right now? Does anybody see a screen?
Yes.
It should show chalk and wire on it. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to start out by going into the classroom. Does anybody know how to get to chalk and wire? Obviously from the classroom, but outside of the classroom, like from the main menu. I can show you quickly where that is, but that would be very, very easy to see. It would be on the top left. So right here, there's a link. You can see it right as soon as you come into the Granite State College dashboard. This is where you would go to access it, or you can access the chalk and wire, any one of the assignments that are in the courses to go in there. That is fine. If we're going to create the capstone portfolio, just any way you can get into chalk and wire is fine. You can still create it from any way you access it. So let's say you go into chalk and wire, you see your table of contents. We're going to want to go to the menu. And I'll try and pause here and there so you can do it as well. In case you have any questions or get stuck, just let me know. Go into work, so menu and then work. And then my coursework. Okay, so here I've created a couple of them already just to test it out, but to create a new one, you would click the new portfolio on the top right. And you would name it. You can name it anything from my journey, my leadership journey, my management journey, and add your name at the end, or anything you want to name this capstone ePortfolio. The expectation of this ePortfolio is to capture your whole journey, what you've learned through the program, and to incorporate any special artifacts, materials that you've created throughout the program in any one of the courses and add it in. So I'll just name it my leadership journey just for this purpose, just to give you an idea.
Anna?
Yep.
Are you having people go along and do it with you? Are you doing screen shares? Is everyone caught up with you?
Yeah, I think everybody said they could see my screen, right?
Yeah, I can see the screen.
Yeah, and what I'll do is once I'm done with this portion, I'll give you a couple of minutes to try and do it yourselves, and then we'll move on.
Great.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Thanks. I just think it's, if people leave and it's done, it's a little less, scary. And the other thing I want to mention, maybe I'll take myself off, is remember there's a thing with browsers in chalk and wire. So what's might not be working on your browser. If you go to a different browser, it might work, right?
Right. So if you see that you're trying to do something and it's just not working, so you're clicking something, it's not responding, it would most likely be the browser. I'm using Firefox right now and it seems to work pretty well, but I've heard that Chrome is a better platform for certain systems. And what's the other one? We got Internet Explorer,
Safari?
which is Edge now, and Safari too. So those could work as well. So yeah.
IE is not good, right?
That's like an older system, but it works with older like Windows 7 or yeah, I don't know if Windows XP is in the market still,
Okay,
but
I'll go back offline. Sorry.
thank you. Okay, so you got the name, the table of contents. You have to choose the one that says Capstone ePortfolio because this is the one that's going to allow you to submit it. So depending on what program you are, if you're in the leadership program, MSLD Capstone ePortfolio. MSM, Capstone ePortfolio if you're in the management program. So for this example, I'm just going to go with the MSM Capstone ePortfolio. And then you click Create. And it puts you right into the new Capstone ePortfolio you've created. So I'm going to give you a minute or two to try and redo this, to try and create your own Capstone ePortfolio. And then I'll continue in a couple minutes just to let me know when you're set, when you got it created.
All right, rock on. Here we go.
Again, it would be through menu and then work and then my coursework, and then clicking the blue button on the top right.
Are we locked into this
I
title
was
right?
gonna say I can't get to my bottom because all I see is your bottom, I think, or how do I get out of your screen?
Oh, because you're full screen, press escape and it should minimize it.
No, Anna, I meant I'm about to create my portfolio, but is this so like if say I name it whatever, my leadership journey, and then I decide I don't like that name, I mean, is this it right now? Whatever we create is what we're stuck with?
No, yeah, you can change it later. So it's
Okay.
it's changeable.
Thank you.
Okay, I got it.
And you guys can share screens. So if you get stuck and you need to see what someone else is doing, sometimes it's just helpful to share screens if you get a little stuck.
Oh, nice. Okay, that's good to
Right.
know.
So once you make it, I made mine last week. Just to try it out. But like once you make it where it says name and then it says table of content, department, modified, and then I can go in there and click that. Do I just hit download as a PDF?
Nope, you'd click on it and then edit portfolio, the first one. So you should have a couple options when you click on it.
Okay, I see it. Edit at the top. Okay.
What were
Okay.
you saying, David? Are you okay? Are you set?
Yeah, I got it. Yep,
I created it.
doing
Yeah.
good.
Okay. All right. Are we set? We're good to go?
Yeah, I don't have all those options you have. I just have a screen that says MSN Capstone ePortfolio with the title I created, and then enable table of contents edit mode.
Okay. Yeah, and maybe because I have administrator views, so that should be fine.
Okay, think I got it.
Great. All right. We will move on. All right, so I'm going to go in there. So you should already be in there, but if you want to try to go back in, you would just regular click on the portfolio and you'd click edit portfolio. All right, so this is the view. Now my view may be a little bit more compact because I have a smaller monitor, but yours should be a little bit more spaced out. And the buttons kind of move around as you shrink the screen and enlarge it. So just bear with me. You should be able to see, however, you should be able to see every button that I see here. So you're going to have your very first page, which is the home page. We can, oh, I just clicked on it. Let me back out. We can actually, 1 second. Yeah.
That's chalk and wire.
Yeah, I go
It's
click
very
happy.
touchy. It's very touchy.
Yes. All right, here we are. So you get a home page. You can definitely add more pages here. And you can change the theme. You can share your ePortfolio. Let's start by adding pages because that's the next step you want to do. If you just click this enable table of contents edit mode, it will let you add pages. I'm going to go ahead and click that. And then I'm going to click on the home page to see the new add button. And I'm going to click add. And that's going to immediately create a new page right under home. And there's different ways you can do this. You can divide this by courses. You can do LD 820 or Management 805. And then the next courses, you can do it by course, page by course, or you can group it in stages. So you can do one page for the early courses, a second page for the middle, and a third for the last. You can do it whichever way you feel would better project how your journey went. From what I understand, there isn't any specific requirements on minimum or maximum, just as long as this represents a good quality work for you. And Kathy, you can let us know if that's if something's different or if you're expecting something.
Nope, you're right.
Okay, good. So we do have to have a home page, and the home page we can't delete. And we do have to put in something basic in the home page to start out, just so we could be able to submit this. So we just can't delete that. We'll just leave that there and go back to that. But in the meantime, let me just finish putting in a name for this page, which I'm just gonna do early courses. Or let's do early in the program. Okay, I want to add a few more, so I would Click on it, and then if you notice as I'm clicking on the page, we have a couple new buttons. We have the rename and the delete button, so you can rename the pages, you can delete them, you can even drag them around. I'm actually going to create one more, actually a few more.
How did you get the add button again?
Click on home.
Oh, okay.
And I'll go ahead and give you a couple minutes to create a few pages. Again, we can change the names later. We could delete them and drag them around, but just so you can get the hang of it.
I have a question.
Yep.
How did you line them up?
So by default, if you click home and you click the add button, it'll make them sub pages. But if you click on any of the sub pages and click add, it's going to add something as a sub page of that one that you have clicked on. So it kind of organizes it for you depending on which one you clicked. It'll just make the new one a sub page of that. So let's say early in the program, I want to add another sub page to that one. It would look like that.
All righty. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
I'm definitely changing my titles because I got some goofy titles going now. I just did it real quick.
That's good, yeah. And like I said, you can totally rename them. I'm gonna drag this one over because I put them in the wrong section. I want to put it in the early in the program section, or my first. Yes, and that's how it worked. So you can drag these around.
And try that out.
Yeah, and all these will be a subcategory of home. Home is just going to stay as the main parent page.
Okay, got it.
All right.
How do you delete?
Click on the page, and you should have an extra button on the top.
Let me try that out.
I don't have the delete function.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I just see add myself.
Away from, you can't delete the home one. That's probably because you're on the home one.
Oh, so you can't delete main chapters. You can only delete subsections.
Right, yeah, because that main chapter has to be there in order for this all to work and for you to be able to submit it.
Right.
So
I get you. Okay.
All right. Thank you. I got it.
Okay, great. I was gonna say we have to switch browsers now.
I get you.
Okay.
I get you. So we can rename those main sections anytime we want.
Yeah.
Okay, that'll keep us going.
Correct. Yes. All right. Shall I move on?
I feel good with this part. How do we all feel? All right. We're ready to rock on.
All right. So I'm done with the page renaming for now. I want to go in them now. So I have to click Done Editing to get out of here because otherwise you can't go in.
Okay.
All right. So now we're in the let's go in the pages and edit mode, and you'll know that because this button is available and you don't want to click on that right now. Again, unless you want to add pages. So I'm going to start with the home page. I just clicked on the home page, and it already comes with instructions. These instructions are basically saying what they're hoping or what they're expecting to see in this whole capstone ePortfolio. The final version is not going to show these instructions. It's only going to show what you have. So you don't have to worry about deleting this. This stays in here. What you could do is work around this. So this homepage is one where you want to put an introduction about yourself. You can do a picture. You could do a biography, and you could do a resume. I believe that's what they're saying in the instructions, to go ahead and add those things just to introduce yourself. So I'm going to go ahead and add a little biography blurb about myself. Got it. So I would go to the add content. Every home page or every page here that you add is going to have this add content. And when you click on it, it'll give you a couple options. It gives you a text block, which is for putting paragraphs, language, also putting pictures, or add a file. That's if you want to upload any file that you want to share in this particular page, or even a picture too. If you put a picture, it makes it really nice, and we'll do a sample of that. All the other options are not going to be necessary for this Capstone portfolio, so I would say don't worry about these. The only ones you'll be working with is text block, add file. Oh, and this last one. This creates a shortcut to the next page. So we'll talk about that, but let's start with the text block. So I want to add a text block, and then it asks you where you want to add it, all the areas you can put the text block. I want to do it first thing in the page. And again, for the home page, it doesn't matter where you put it around these instructions because those are not going to show. All right, so I'm in a text block. I'm just going to type a quick sentence, but you can do paragraphs. If it's going to be a really long, more than a paragraph, I would say start on Word. In case anything happens with Chalk and Wire or the network, do it on a Word document, paste it here. It's so much safer, so you have backup. But if it's just to start out, couple sentences, paragraph, it should be fine. So I'll go ahead and give you a minute to go add a text block in here.
So I added the text block and I hit save, and it doesn't disappear or anything. It just stays right there. So we're free to edit that as many times as we want as well.
Yep.
Okay.
Let's say there's like a little clog over here that's going to be next to it. If you click it, it'll let you edit that.
Okay.
That's
Thank
going
you.
to appear afterwards after you save it. All right, I'll just do a sentence for now. And I'll go ahead and save that. So once you save, it doesn't just close out of this. It still shows you edit mode. You'd have to click the close button to see the final mode on this page.
Okay.
So this is what it turns out to look like. Just a simple language there. There's a little clog on the left-hand side, which I mentioned earlier, that if you click on it, you could edit it, delete it. You can write comments on it, but just don't, I would say don't use that. That's not needed for this ePortfolio.
And would you recommend they type it in Word first and then paste it in or something?
That's what I was saying. If it's something that's going to be a little bit longer than a paragraph, yeah.
Okay.
If it's something quick, I would say it can be done here. However, don't format in the Word document because the formatting here is more basic. So just quick typing in the Word document, paste it here, and then format it here.
Now, I remember there was a day and age when Moodle would carry over the format from Word. How come it doesn't do that anymore? That's kind of a side note. It doesn't do that anymore.
Well, this is Chalk and Wire.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is
It's
a
a different thing, yeah.
different program. So works differently. All right, I'm going to go back in, click edit, and I want to color this a little bit. Let's say I want to make this purple. So these buttons are very similar to the Moodle buttons in your forums. They have how to color the language. If you want to do a background color, which just highlights it, you can choose fonts and the basics: aligning, bullets, numbering, indenting. This is equation. This is not. We don't want to use that. Hyperlinking, inserting images and videos. And then you do have a Chalk and Wire library. So we can add pictures and files to our library via this button here and import them into your ePortfolio or even your assignments in the class. Any chalk and wire assignments, you can use your library. Library doesn't have a limited capacity; it's unlimited, so you can put as much as you want as long as you have your subscription activated.
So would you recommend adding pictures this way or the previous way that we saw, where you can add a picture separately? Should we do it this way?
You can do it both ways. The other way, which is adding through a file, is more limited.
Okay.
We'll only add it, and that's about it. You can't resize it. If you do it here, it does allow you to resize it. So, yeah, this is a little bit more nicer to use or more flexible.
Okay, cool.
All right, so I was gonna color that green. Formats. This has headers. You can use headers. So if you have a title, you want to add a title to this, I would recommend to do so. I would say put in the title for your Capstone portfolio here, because this is the home page. This is the first thing that viewers are going to see, or your instructor's going to see. Actually, I wanted to do headers, so I'll go to Formats, Headers, pick the biggest one. But there are other options. There's different header sizes. Text blocks is the kind of paragraph you're doing. If you're working with paragraphs, paragraph is the most basic. So it doesn't do double spacing or anything. It just leaves it as a clean paragraph. So if you're trying to just keep it all the same, I would say use this. The rest I wouldn't use. I say paragraph is the only one that's been helpful, but there's double spacing. It does APA, block quote.
We don't have to do it in APA or anything, right? It's not like the paper we have to do double spaced and.
But if you're citing something, you still need to cite it.
Right, but we don't have to like do the double spaced and.
Right.
Because in the end, this is going to look like a website. Once we preview it, you're going to see that it just looks like a web page with different links to all your pages. So APA, I mean, the formatting of that double spacing, I would say wouldn't look.
So regular paragraph would be better. Okay.
Yeah.
Just like our presentation said in class today about the PowerPoint, it's got to lead the user to where you want them to go.
Right. Okay, inline, couple of options there, font sizes, and alignments. So that's the basics of this block.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and save this. Were you guys able to play with it a little bit? Should I give you a couple minutes? I can give you a minute to try and...
I've been going along with you.
Yeah, I think the stuff you're covering right now probably is kind of intuitive from people using Word.
Good. Okay. Great. Let's do a file now. Add a file. So actually, I don't want to add a picture here. You can totally add a picture here and your resume as well. I'm going to go to the next page just to show you how I go back and forth between pages. So every time you go back in Chalk and Wire, you would hit this button here, table of contents. If for some reason Chalk and Wire always puts the return buttons on this area, so anytime you want to go back, you would look in this area for a return button or a table of contents. You can hit the back button, but this seems to be the more safest way to head back. All right, so I'm going to go to my next page early in the program. Oh, one thing I wanted to show you. When you're in the home page, right now you can see a next page button. When this is published, this is going to go away. So one feature I recommend is to add a link to the next page, which is when you go under add content, click on the link to a portfolio page option. That's the last option under add content. And that's just going to create a link to the next one. And I think that's been very helpful for the instructor and viewers to go to the next page, especially if you want them to jump to a different section at some point. This is going to be very helpful. So I want the viewer to jump to the next page. So this is this page for mine. early in the program, click save. And it's right here. So I'm just going to preview this because I want to know what it looks like. So in order to preview what you've done so far, you'd go back to your table of contents right here on the top left. And there's a preview button up at the top right when you're looking at your table of contents with all the pages. If you click preview, it's going to open a new tab. And this is what it'll look like so far. So we haven't picked the themes yet. There's definitely different views to this, but basically you get your links here, your contents, all the pages you created look like this. And they're all linked, so you can skip around. This is where I put, actually this is the title of the Capstone ePortfolio on the top, so it's gonna have that. And this is your first page down here at the bottom. I put in a title, I put in some information, and then a link to go to the next page. And if I click that, it just takes you to the next one, which I haven't built yet. But you can keep previewing this. I would say refresh it as you keep updating it. It's helpful. It's very helpful as you make changes throughout the ePortfolio. All right, so I'm going to go to the next page. I'm going to add a picture. Pictures can be tricky, so let's see how we can work this out. Just pay close attention. So let's say you have a picture. The best way that Chalk and Wire works with pictures is to drag the picture in here, which will add it to your library if you have it in your computer. The other way that it works best is if you have it straight from another web page. So if you've searched an image, I would say leave it there for now if it's one from a web page, but if it's in your computer, go ahead and drag it in. I'm gonna say for one that's in my computer, let's go ahead and drag it in. And as I'm going, please go ahead and practice this so we can catch any problems or anything and try and get those fixed. But in the meantime, let me see if I can add a picture myself. All right, I have one here. I'm gonna just drag it in. Oh, this is my server. Don't mind, ignore that. When you drag it in, it's gonna appear at the bottom, and then you click start so it can start uploading it. And you can do multiple pictures. If you have 5 or 6, you can drag them all in. It'll just start piling up here at the bottom, and when you're done, you could just click the start button to upload them to your library. All right, so it's in your library. So the next thing you do is go to your library, which is this button right here, File from Library. And then the image would go automatically in your images folder. So it will identify it as an image and put it here. Okay, let me see if I can make this smaller. Sometimes.
Oh, that looks just like the other parts of Chalk and Wire.
Oh, good.
The table looks like the table of contents for me, from my point of view.
All right, so we drag it over, click done, and there it is. All right, it looks like I already had this picture from before. This is the new one. So this is what it looks like. If you click here, you click edit, you only get a few buttons. You can resize the area that you can see. It's not shrinking it, it's cropping it to a specific area, and you can rotate it. So that's the limitations of that. If you just want to put in a plain image here, that's fine. This is what you can do. But I'm going to try the other way. I'm going to try putting it in a text block. And I want to put it up here. So for the text block, I would click the Insert Edit Image. And as you can see here, it's asking to put in the link of the source. So this would be from a website. So let's say you find a nice image on Google. I'm just going to put in. So as you can see, this feature, that button that I was just showing you, it only works with other sources. So link from another page. With this button, you can't put in your own picture, unfortunately.
Yeah, but then you have to be careful about copyright, remember?
Yeah. Kathy, you're recommending them to use a Creative Commons to pick a picture from there. Is that something that they could do?
Sure, absolutely. You remember how to do it.
Mm-hmm. And it offers different places.
Oh, I've never gone in this way.
Oh, oh yeah. Well, this recommends different areas to take the pictures from.
It's actually easier than the way I've been doing it.
What can I search? Just anything.
You've been doing rainbows. You've been on a rainbow.
I love colors. What can I say?
So what is the attribution on that? Some rights reserved.
I think it's over here. Some rights. All right. So when I copy images, I've done it from Google. I mean, when I copy the link, I'm trying to get the link on this one so I can copy it over.
I usually take it from the very top of the screen, you know, the search bar, that one right there.
Let's see if that works. Okay, click OK. Yeah, that's.
It doesn't work?
No, I just want to see it like full screen because I think that's going to give me. What about share photo? Okay, here we go. So there was a share button on it, and I just clicked the share, and it gave me that link. Let's try this again. Image. Yeah, I don't know if Creative Commons will help with that. We'll have to play with it a little bit more.
We will.
Yeah.
Use only personal pictures, and then you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, so I would recommend to upload it into a cloud and then get the link from there and put it in, because I was just using like any random Google image and it was working pretty good.
Yeah, I save or snip everything. I use the snipping tool a lot on my computer, which is very helpful.
See, because even here in Google, you can right click and then get the link location copy. I'm sorry, copy image location. Let's try that.
Let's see if that does it. Yeah.
There you go.
Boom.
And then you can resize it.
That's pretty.
Yeah, it's high definition too. Okay, so that's one way. The other way that I've done it before is dragging it over from that image. So let me try and separate these in my tiny screen. Go over here. So if I can just get this and drag it over here, it does it too. So it's just as easy as that, as dragging it over if you have it from that web page. Other than that, if you want to use your personal pictures, you would go to library image.
When we use a personal picture, do we have to like cite ourselves, so to speak? Like, do we have to somehow state that it was our personal photo that we took?
No.
Great.
Okay, so I'm using the library image, and I see here it's asking me to pick a file. You would have to upload it first. So
what if they had it in a drive in their computer? Couldn't they slide it in then?
they could try. I mean, I've tried different methods on how to get a picture in. I wasn't able to do it from a Word document or from my desktop. I was only able to do it from a different web page so far. I would say try different methods to get it in. But as you can see here, dragging works from a web page. Uploading it into your library works as well. Try it out. If it doesn't, the best method is going to be to put it in your library image, your library.
Could you drag it in from, say, Facebook or Instagram or something?
That might work. That could work. Yeah, because I'm seeing here that's how this is working best. But from the computer, it doesn't. It doesn't do it from a desktop or a folder in the computer. So yeah, I would say try that. So I'm noticing here that as I'm trying to add my own personal pictures, I just can't do it from the text block. So I'd have to do it from adding a file. So I'd go back to add content, add a file, I'll just go here in this first one. I'll just place it here and then start dragging all my files from my desktop here. So if you do want to drag your own personal files from your folders, you'd use the add file feature here and then use whichever method to add it in, whether it's going here from your, what's in your library, going here and clicking file library and adding it here, or adding a text block and then adding from your library image button.
Okay.
Do you want a couple minutes to work on this, or should we move on? I think we've had a little bit of time to play with this, so.
Yeah, I think we can move on because it's 7:30 and we're ending at 8, and I just want to give people a couple extra minutes at the end.
Okay, great. So those are the main details that you would be adding to your pages. The last detail that I wanted to go over that I usually don't get to go over is adding a video. If you do have a video from Moodle that you presented, like for example, Com 800, I had an interview that I uploaded. I wanted to add that in. So basically, you'd go to your text block, click on this little button, insert edit media. Then it's going to ask you for the source. In Moodle, on the home page, there is a way to access your media. And so I'm here on the home page, and it's under your menu and under site news, my media. So if you want to add a video that you've posted in one of your courses, it's going to show up here. And if you click my media, you should have all these videos you've done. When you click on it, it's going to provide you with some details, such as sharing. You would click the share button. It's going to give you the information you need to embed into your Capstone ePortfolio. So this is the information. You can copy that over into the embed tab. That would be the second tab. And there you go. It's in there. Save it. And then close. And there we go. We got a video in there. And you could do the same thing from YouTube. YouTube, when you share, it provides a link so you can copy it in here. All right, the last two things I want to show you is how to import assignments from your other program table of contents, your leadership or management, because that's what you're going to be doing mostly in these pages. When you go on any one of these pages, you're going to see a big import content to the right-hand side. Click on that, and it's going to ask you where from. You want to import from a portfolio because your program had a portfolio. It's not a workspace or assignment. You would choose the one that belongs to your program. I believe it's usually your first name dash program is the most likely name of your portfolio. It's a default name. And then you check mark all the areas you want to upload. In my instance, these are so far the only assignments I had on file. So these are the only ones I could click, but you should have everything available to upload that you submitted. So I'm going to go ahead and have these imported in here. There's a preview button here too. So if you want to see that portfolio before doing this, you can do so. And up here on the right-hand side is an import button. So it's very self-explanatory.
Wait, how did you get to that? How did you get to that?
So every page has an import content on the right-hand side.
Okay.
Click that button, import content.
Thank
And
you for asking. I was wondering the same thing.
yeah.
Import, okay, just like the, okay.
Yeah. And it should be your program portfolio. Your program portfolio should be the one with your first last name dash program.
And you only have to do import once, right?
For each page.
Oh, you have
Yeah,
to
it's making me click on each one that I want to
Yeah,
import.
that's painful.
So you can't import the whole thing in one page and drag it to another page. Unfortunately, you have to do per page. So each page, what do you want to import, put it in there, and then go to the next page.
It gives me the whole list, the whole portfolio, but it won't let me import it without clicking on, one of those boxes right there. Perfect.
So
Yeah.
you really need to be deliberate about what you want to do.
Yeah.
Which I guess is good in the long run.
Yeah,
If we're following our own narrative here.
right.
Okay.
I just clicked the preview button on that just to see what it shows me, and it shows you
Yeah.
really quickly what your program portfolio was. In case you're trying to figure out which one's which, that's a good feature.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna
Cool, cool.
return. Yep. Any questions?
No, Anna, you've been great. I don't have any questions at the moment, so I appreciate it. You've answered all mine.
We do
Wonderful.
themes now. This is the best part.
Oh yeah, the funnest
Let's
part.
do it. Rock and roll.
So here's the just to show you, here's where it went into. These it just goes as attachments, your assignments from the other portfolio.
So does everything we put in automatically save as we go?
Yes.
Oh, it does?
For these pages, yes. If you're in a text block, you do have to save. And if you're within one of these blocks, you do have to save. But importing, once you're in here, it's in here. You don't have to save that.
Okay.
So I just say overall, just look around. There's no save buttons. You're safe.
Yeah. And then real quick, in a text block, if we, so like I went to just to type something as a little placeholder, and it's like quadruple spacing. How do I adjust that and just do single spacing?
Highlight it and go to Formats, text block, and click Paragraph. Paragraph is your basic formatting.
I
So-
think there's also access to HTML, if you know that. Is there access to HTML?
Yes, under Tools, Source Code. So if you know that, you can clean it up. It looks very simple. It looks like it just has the basics.
Yeah, just basic HTML.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So, well,
So-
even when I highlight everything and I click paragraph, and it's not changing it.
You want to share screen?
The other option I would say is go to Format and then click Clear Formatting. That one also clears up any odd.
Okay.
Did that work?
That brought it down to like double spacing.
Oh, do you want to do share screen?
Sure.
Anna, do you want to give Dave the screen for a few minutes?
Sure, let's see, stop. All right.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh, so one
So-
thing that I tend to do is
So
I
yeah, it's stuck.
let me turn. Can you hear me?
yes.
Okay, I thought my reception was going away.
Yep.
So I would say do hard shifts, hard returns when you're doing this. Like let's say delete the spaces in between, and when you hit the return to go to the next line, press down shift return, and it won't do the skip, the line skipping. See, it goes right to the next line.
Oh,
Okay. So if you just hit enter, you get this like double space thing, but if you hold shift, then okay.
I think
All
it's
right. I guess.
the difference between a paragraph break and a break. A paragraph and a, because if you go up to tools, if you click on tools and you go to the HTML tool,
Tool source code, right?
yeah, there's a difference between a break, which just gives you just a tiny return to the next line, but a
Yeah.
paragraph will give you that larger space.
Okay, got you. Thank you.
Yeah, by
And these are probably not bullets, right? They don't look like bullets to me.
oh, and
Oh.
there's a bullet feature there too. You can use that.
I was just making little notes for
Yeah,
myself, and
that's what it looks like.
yep.
Beautiful.
All right. Yeah, by default, these text blocks, they will create spaces when you're doing just regular returns that I seem to find as
I
a
always
common.
find it good though, because if Dave has that problem, chances are somebody else will have it too. So
Yes,
good
yes.
to kind of look at it.
Thanks for sharing that.
And you are a whiz at this, Anna.
I love this stuff. Oh my gosh.
Okay, so themes. Let's do themes.
Okay, themes. So setup button on the top right.
And you're on the home page, or does it matter?
It, as long as you're in the table of contents in here, so you can't do it within one of the pages. You have to go back to the table of contents. So you have this view. This is where you'd find the setup button.
And if this is where they hate the name of their portfolio, is this where they change it?
Yes, this is it. This is where you change your name. Okay, so click Edit Setup. I had played with this a little bit, so I'm not sure if it looks a little bit different for you, but you should have the same button, Edit Setup, or some sort of setup button to create your theme. We want to go here, Edit Setup, or whichever button you have to be able to set up your theme. And this gives you many choices that are already done, predetermined, set for you. It gives you all these cute looks. I'm just going to choose one. What I have noticed about this is that it doesn't format your fonts. It just leaves them basic. So as you're typing in, if you want to choose a specific font for each one of them, go ahead and do that. It's going to keep it. So this won't change your fonts.
So if they add the text after they've chosen the theme, then it will format the font correctly.
Is that, not that I know of, but is that something you've seen?
No, I'm just wondering.
Yeah, I don't think, I didn't see that when I did it on mine. It should not.
If we go theme to theme, it's going to be uniform across our whole presentation.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay.
All right, I'm just going to pick this one. I'm going to click save, and I want to get out of here. So save and then close. And then I want to preview it. So I'm going to click preview on the top right. And this is what that looks like.
So that's a new theme. We had looked at it.
Is that hand stitched? That's hand stitched. Amazing.
It's good.
Looking good.
Oh, fabric.
See, she has a copyright at the bottom of her page.
Ooh, where's that? Oh, here. Yes, I'll show you where that is. Let me go back.
Huh.
So back in Edit Setup, there is a footer tab here at the top. This is where you would edit that. So it's very basic. It already does it all for you. For more information, you don't have to do anything. This is already in there, but if there's anything else you want to add, that's where you'd find it.
Okay.
There's a preferences button. I would say skip that for now. The new feature is building a theme. So let's say you don't like any of these and you want to do your own from scratch. You would click build a theme over here.
I want to just warn, I think this is another way you can really go down the rabbit hole. So just FYI.
Yeah, if you're comfortable with working with web tools like this and working with features and you feel comfortable enough to play with it, go ahead. I started playing with it. I thought it was pretty cool. It does reset your theme to this. Like, it'll take away whatever theme you chose and it'll only go to this, so you can't combine them. But I liked it because I didn't want my picture in it, for example, just in this case. So you can take that off, you can take your name off, you can, but then you don't get the theme you chose. So it's either that or this. And then these color different areas of your page. So one thing that I thought was really cute was this banner image called Ocean Wave, and you can see the changes when you click Update Theme Preview. And it can pick images. It also does this animation feature.
Oh, please don't do animation.
It's too much, huh?
Please, I just have no patience for those things.
Yeah, well, here you go. It's just to take a look at it. It's so cool. I just thought it was
I might
pretty.
watch the animation and stop the reading, and then that would not be good.
Yeah, so this can be, if you have the time, sure, go ahead and play with this, but I would recommend sticking with the pre-populated themes. One thing here that I noticed is that there's a little line here. This is just a banner border glitch. So I would say uncheck that, update theme, and it should go away. So it's
here's
just
something interesting. See under where it says banner animation, it has CC by SA 3.0. That is copyright information for Creative Commons.
Ah, there we go. Yeah, that's true.
So we could find our own animations on Creative Commons.
But we wouldn't want to, would we?
No, because it'd be distracting, but that is pretty far out looking.
But you know what?
Yeah.
If you wanted to make 2 of these and just share with like a potential boss down the road, you can do that. So even if your subscription runs out, anything that's in there you can play with.
Okay, so we can access this for the rest of our life.
Right. If it's in there when you're paying, you can fool around with it. But if you want to add more stuff to it, then you just have to pay more.
And do we get access to EBSCOhost for the rest of our life?
Well, you do know the username and password, right?
Yeah.
I don't think that ever changes.
Kathy,
Awesome.
we're
Okay.
talking
Cool.
about animation. What about in our PowerPoint presentation? I'm assuming we don't need to do like those silly slide transitions, right?
Thank you for calling them silly. Yes, please, none.
Keep it simple.
Keep it
Keep
simple.
it simple. That's right.
I find it just distracting.
I love this. If I can make it as colorful as possible, I would, but I understand that, yes, this can give a headache to anybody. All right, so I'm returning, going back.
Especially if you're reading like 5 of them and grading and everyone has different animation, by the end, like the last person might not get a great grade. No, I'm teasing, but it would get annoying. Just you don't want to be last on that one either.
No.
No.
All right. So that would be it. Last piece is sharing. I believe one of your last assignments is to create a URL, or one of the last steps is to create a URL for this. It's right here next to the themes, right on the bottom. You'd click share this page, and just make sure that you have entire portfolio selected, which is default, and just click generate share URL, and it appears right here. So this is what you want to share with your instructor. Nobody can see what you've done until you click this share button, or you click the submit button. The submit button is going to be on your home page right here. So if you have content on your home page, you can already submit it. Obviously, you want to build the whole thing before submitting it, but this is where it would be in your home page. So just remember that home page has a submit button, and then sharing the whole ePortfolio outside of that would be creating a URL. And that's it. That's all we got.
It's a lot.
Yes.
Can I just ask again how you got the sub? So like under home, and then you have early in the program, and then you have LD 820. How did you add those in again, the subs?
You have to click this button, enable table of contents.
Okay.
The only way. So you have to click that, and then you'll see a new add button here, and then you can just click add and drag it around.
Okay.
And then make sure to click done editing to be able to go inside the pages. Get out of here and go in the pages, because you can't access the pages from this mode. This is just editing your page names and moving them around.
Okay.
Okay. Do we have any other questions? Like I haven't heard a word from Brian or Brandon for a while. Are they good?
Just trying to absorb everything. A lot of information. I'm doing good so far.
All right. Brian?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
All right. We're able to record, Kathy?
Oh, right. We're still recording.
Okay, good. All right, that's good. Now I was just
What do I do now, though?
you go to wherever the mute button is. There should be more options to stop the recording.
And then what happens?